Welcome back to BitBar, where we're going to take care of putting together I think this is going to be the wrap-up video on our Capcom Big Blue featuring Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So today's going to be all about assembly. We're going to get the control panel that we put together, the box mounted and put back on here. We're going to get the control panel itself with all of the wiring that we did on that, get that installed, get the glass, the brand new glass that we ordered, get that installed, marquee, hopefully the instruction little strip here. Where's that? Little artwork instruction with the moves on it. Kind of weird though, because it doesn't really fit super well. So I don't know, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. But theoretically this. Fix those light bulbs. We'll go ahead and install the CPS2 board that we're going to be using. Like I said, in this case, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And get this baby fired up. So let's get to it. Main panel installed. Let's check out this glass that I got, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to put that on before I put the control panel on. So I ordered the glass. I haven't even opened it, haven't tested it, so I'm crossing my fingers that this stuff fits. If it doesn't, I'm going to be in trouble. Alright, so this glass came from Peninsula Glass Company. And I think that I found them at, onedayglass.com. O-N-E-D-A-Y glass.com. And I just sent them the specs of the glass that I needed. And they shipped this to me, I think it came FedEx ground. So it wasn't literally one day. Although I think you can pick it up if you live in the Vancouver, Washington area. You can actually pick it up like the next day if you order it and let them know you want to pick it up. Oh boy, I sure hope this glass is intact, and I sure hope it's the right size to get rid of all these peanuts. Heck of a packing job. So it looks like, let's see, you guys can see this. So all those packing peanuts, and then we have the glass panel itself. And I believe they do guarantee that it's going to arrive safe, too. So if it shows up, and this is tempered glass, so if it were broken, it would be in a bazillion little pieces right now. So I'm pretty sure it's not broken. Alright. Moment of truth on the fit now. Yeah, definitely when you're ordering glass, you want to make sure you get tempered safety glass, because if this thing, the glass were to ever crack, tempered glass kind of shatters into a million little like BBs. But they're relatively safe rather than giant shards, which are dangerous. You, however, want to be very careful about putting tempered glass onto cement, because I guess the imperfections in the cement can cause the glass to crack. But here we are. So there is a piece of glass, and oh boy, it fits. Fantastic. All right, there's our glass. I think there's supposed to be a bracket right here that actually holds the glass up. On this lip that it's on here. Because right now that's loose and it could easily slip down to right there, which, I mean, isn't the end of the world, but it's totally not right. And it's putting pressure on the glass on these corners. I'm going to have to think about that overnight. But like I said, I think I'm missing this a bracket that goes right here that keeps the glass kind of pressed up against it, and its little notch right there. However, it is the perfect size. It is exactly what I ordered, so that's a win. All right, let's keep going. We're actually gonna rest the glass down in this little slot here until maybe I can come up with some little bracket that'll work for now. I mean, the control panel covers up a good chunk of that, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, something I want to get a little bit more secure than that. Next up, what are you gonna do next? Maybe we're gonna throw that marquee on. So I'm gonna throw some compact fluorescent bulbs into the marquee area. That should light nicely, and we have our brand new freshly painted marquee bracket here. So let's get that ready, make sure I've got the hardware I need to hold it down. Alright, let's get the marquee thrown up here. This is an original marquee. They do make reproductions, but this one's an original. Alright, that looks great. Now we've got the part that I was talking about down here in the front, we also painted to cover up that lockdown bar hole. So let me get that thrown on there. The paint on that turned out nice. So just basically it's just the washer here and a carriage bolt that I've got kind of sandwiched together. And then on the inside, just got a giant washer, a hex nut, and a locking washer. So that's just so much nicer. Alright, we got that tightened down. Now to throw on the brackets up front here. All freshly painted. And those turned out very nice. Looks nice. Do the other side real quick here. All right. That looks pretty darn good. Let's get so these are the hinges. And we did repaint the front black edges of that with the rest of the parts. Let's get the control panel on here. This is probably another part that I would clean up a lot more than it is, but if I were going a little bit more intense on this restoration. Alright, there we go. Let's get this thing mounted on here. Gonna have to find, I believe it's some carriage bolts that it uses. Alright, so that's these guys. Just snugging them down right now. I want to make sure that the panel sits where I want it to when I put it down before I go to town on those. Alright, so, oh boy, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and crank those down. Now we've got these guys here. What they are is they go between the panel and the control box to make sure that the panel basically you can open it up and leave it open without it just resting on these hinges. So we definitely want to go ahead and reinstall this thing. Just want to double check and see where we are. Make sure that we're using the right holes so that it will stay open, but not too far open. What's next? Well, sheesh. Let's put the, gonna get the brackets back on for the tie downs. I'll hold off on the other side of this for just a little while. Brackets that clip into these guys, so I need to find a couple more screws. Alright, so the way these things work, you guys probably know this, but just so you understand, so normally when the game is on the locations, obviously you don't want anyone to be able to open up this panel here, so what you do is you go down to through the coin return, and you can feel up and be able to grab onto these things pretty easily. So that's how those work. So I just need to make sure real quick here that I can latch them, which means they're in the right position. And that's one. And that's two. So now you can't easily pull that control panel up. All right. Dang, this is coming together quick now. So we've got this coming off the main JAMA harness, and then off of the control panel here, we've got this kick harness here, and this harness here. So go ahead and plug these guys together. And then the kick harness will actually go into the board that we install. So I'm going to slip this down through a slot back here, so we'll be able to reach that when we've got the board ready to install, which we'll flip the game around and do right now. Alright, so first things first, like I said, go ahead and throw the PCB feet on here. Then we can use these to actually screw the board down to the back here. And we've got those two screw holes right there, ready to go. Or sorry, it's 4 screw holes. And actually, first things first, before I actually fully mount it to the cabinet, I'm going to go ahead and slip the JAMA harness on here, as well as the kick harness, because that's tricky to do when the board is mounted down. You end up kind of having to do it blind. So the kick harness goes in, and the CPS2 boards goes in this slot, and then the JAMA harness goes on there, and then the audio left and right for the Q sound, the RCA cables go in there. So like I said, so first things first, go ahead and slip the kick harness on here, and that's not right. There's an adapter. I gotta find that. Okay, it was slipped around front. So this is actually what goes into the board. Then you have to slip this guy on here, which adapts the output from the control panel into something that the game can see. It is pinned. There's a missing pin here in the middle. It's keyed. I'm sorry. So you can't put it in wrong, but double check, make sure you're doing it right. So that's that. And back to going ahead and getting that kick harness installed, which also is keyed so that you can't install that incorrectly. So don't force it. It should just slip right in there. And then the JAMA harness I have to do, because there's not much slack on it, JAMA harness I have to do kind of with it laying down here. And then the RCA cables, these come off of the amp. So just need to slip these guys into the two RCA slots. Right there. And now the board is fully attached. Now I need to just bolt it down here. So should be these screw holes you can see here on the PCB feet. Go ahead and get one of them in here to make this a little bit more stable. And let's get the other ones in. All right, let's go ahead and what do we do next? Fire it up. Let me switch things around here and go around front and see about firing this baby up. All right, we got her all spun around. I went ahead and threw the back door on just to make sure it's on. God, it looks good. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It's like a 72-hour restoration. Maybe that's what we'll call this series, the 72-hour Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing powered on, make sure that it works. Marquee lights are working, that's great. Nice first step. Monitor's working. Let it warm up a little bit. We may need to do some adjustments on the colors there, but oh boy. So I guess color looks maybe, can't tell if that's a little bit blue. Yeah, it's definitely way too blue. But how's the sound working? And buttons for that matter. Button worked. And we have sound coming out of both channels. However, first player, second player are swapped. So that's just these two main harnesses.
USSR. Round one, fight.
So now, there we go. Seems like one of these switches might be a little bit wonky. Just because it seemed like when I was backing him up, it wasn't always working. That's definitely one of my big pet peeves. Well, really with any game, but like, see, it always seems like these are railed on really hard. But there we go. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. She's working. You know, and these boards actually have, they have test screens on them. So I'll probably load up one or two of the test screens and monkey with this a little bit to dial in the colors quite a bit more. But man, there you go. 72-hour restoration, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. We've got more stuff to do in this cabinet too. I don't want you to think that like this cabinet doesn't. I don't think that it deserves a full restoration or a detailed restoration. I think it totally does. I just think this example is in really nice shape. It's got a couple bumps and bruises here, but you know that's some character. I don't mind that. And you know I needed to get it done for this for the Rocky Mountain Pinball Showdown. So yeah, you know what? There you go. It's together. It's working. I think everything looks pretty nice on it. So, you know what? I think it's great. It's going to be good the way it is for now. I'll enjoy it for a long time. And if I ever get a hair up my butt to actually do a crazy restoration, or if something ever happens to it, you know, like that top corner gets snapped off, or who knows what, you know, if something ever happens to it, then I'll consider going back in and giving it a full restoration. But for now, I think it's going to be good. I'll dial in those colors. swap out those control panel carriage bolts, pack it up, and put it into the truck to go to the show. So I want to thank you guys for following this. Hopefully you're enjoying these shorter videos, not the hour-long crazy ones like we were doing with the red tent. And hopefully you got something out of this. I had a great time the last just a few days putting this thing together, and I think it turned out great. A couple things I would do maybe a little differently. I think we could figure out some way to, whether it's putting this thing on a table router or something like that, to get that control panel, the Lexan overlay done just a little bit better, a little bit more cleanly. I think I needed to do all the restoration work, the Bondo work, the filler work on the wood on this thing to really make that work, the routing work even a little bit better. What else did we learn? Find the graphics, make sure you've got all the pieces you need before you start putting something together on a timeline like this. I don't have the kick punch and player 1, player 2, all those graphics that go on there. I can add them in later, it's not a big deal, but I didn't have them ready. Those new old stock ones just didn't work out for me. Yeah, that's about it. Great little easy restoration, fun game. We'll have a good time with it at the showdown. So thanks guys for subscriptions. Appreciate any questions, happy to answer. Appreciate any likes, whatever those things do. I don't know. You want to say like? That's cool. I like that you like it. How about that? Anyway, thanks guys. We'll see you very soon on the next restoration series, which I don't even know what's going to be yet. Probably Defender. Defender's dead. Defender needs to come back to life. Maybe the rebuild on the, I think it's a G07 in that thing. So maybe Defender's next. But we'll see you very soon.